Hi, seventh graders. Welcome back. We are going to move ahead, moving from the pre-writing outline to your essay. I've already taken my essay outline and written my essay. It was very easy to do, but I want to point out to you how I did it. So let's start with the introduction. So this section right here, Roman numeral 1, turned into my introduction, and I'm going to just show it to you right here. Here's my introduction. So if you look down below, here are all the ideas I was supposed to cover. I was supposed to just basically introduce my topic, but before I actually state my topic, which is facing injustice by learning about it from someone who experienced it, I just start with the opening sentence just to warm the reader up to the topic. So that's what you see here. Injustice is the continuous mistreatment of a targeted group. So I just started with that just to kind of open up the thought process to injustice. Now here I state my thesis or my overall main topic. It is important to learn about injustice from those who faced it. Now, you do not have to write the thesis statement in the exact same words as I have. In fact, you shouldn't. Find your own way, your own voice of stating this idea clearly but briefly so that the reader knows that's what you're about to discuss. And then you'll see my 3 controls are stated each in a separate sentence. First of all, it may motivate others to confront injustice. There it is in A. Secondly, learning about injustice builds compassion. There it is right here in B. And then finally, historical lessons can be learned by studying past injustices that have occurred in the world, and here it is in C. So you can easily see that my intro paragraph, this tiny little paragraph, has all the elements that I pre-wrote and pre-thought in my outline. Okay, so now it's time for you to pause the action here and go ahead and write your introduction and then come back and see me. Okay. Okay, so welcome back, 7th graders. Now it is time for me to go to body paragraph 2. And for our purposes, I'm just going to fold the essay down to that part so you can just focus all your attention on seeing how I easily take these ideas and morph them into this body paragraph. So I'm supposed to start with this idea, this topic, that confronting injustice is hard. I'm supposed to acknowledge in my paragraph that it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Olympians who silently protested, and that was uncomfortable for them, but they did it anyway. I'm going to also talk about the opposite of confronting, which is remaining silent, and the harm that it can cause. And I'm also going to cover that injustice still occurs in the world and confronting it is necessary. So let's take a look at what it is. I'm going to just read it to you so you can get a feel for what I did. Let's see if I can zoom in. I'll try. Let's see. Without a doubt, confronting injustice is hard. It feels uncomfortable, but people must be brave enough to speak up and act out against unfair practices, laws, or rules. And here comes my example, my text reference from my PBT. In 1968, 2 Olympic athletes did just that. John Carlos and Tommie Smith mounted a silent protest. They did it to raise awareness about the racial discrimination happening in the United States. They were sent home immediately and criticized sharply, but 30 years later, they were honored for their, role. Oh no, it was right, it should have been that. For the role they played in the civil rights movement. Now moving on to my next example. Not confronting injustice has painful consequences. Imagine if society stood up to Hitler's cruel practices and ideas in the 1930s. There would have been less chance of a Holocaust in the 1940s. Now here's my last detail of the paragraph. Since injustice still occurs in the world, Those of us who can must push it back. Okay, so this is my first body paragraph talking about the whole idea that confronting injustice is hard, but it's necessary. Okay, so now it's time for you to pause the action, and you are supposed to go from Roman numeral 2. Stick very closely to what you decided to write here, and then just add a few more details. This could be from the articles you've read, Anne Frank, it could be from the PBT, but you cannot just list these 3 things. That's not going to work. You have to add some text support, some details, and some support. All right, pause the video, come back for body paragraph 2. Okay, welcome back. We are moving on to body paragraph 2. Once again, I'm going to just fold this down so we can just focus all of our writing energy on Roman numeral 3. Here it is. The second body paragraph is all about how we could possibly build compassion for others by studying injustices that they have experienced. And here is where I have written body paragraph 2. Again, it wasn't hard. I just had to make sure that I stick to these ideas. First, I'm going to state my topic about the possibility of building compassion for others by studying injustices that others have experienced. Then I'm going to go on and say that some people may never face injustice. I'll explain that. I'll explain that anyone can sympathize with tragic situations. And then I'll explain one specific example that I've learned about, which was hunger and poverty in the U.S. So let's take a look. Here is my second body paragraph here. And I start out with this topic sentence: learning about injustice suffered by others builds compassion. That came right from Roman numeral 3, building compassion. See, I'm staying on topic. Let's go. To be clear, not everyone will experience injustice. People that have wealth and power may only come to understand injustice through the experiences of others. This builds compassion. See, that is right from Roman numeral 2a. So stay on topic. Not knowing or learning about these situations may make some people feel injustice doesn't exist. Studying targeted groups and learning through their experiences is eye-opening. After all, everyone can sympathize with tragic situations. For example, the United States of America is one of the most wealthy countries. But according to feedingamerica.org, 1 in 8 Americans are hungry every day. So to me, I blended these 2 ideas: sympathizing with the tragic situation, building compassion, and then I'm going to tie in hunger, because for me, that's a tragic situation that I want to talk about, and I feel compassion for that situation. So let's finish taking a look here. 1 in 8 Americans are hungry every day. This is usually due to losing a job or a serious illness. If a person can't work, chances are he or she can't buy food. So I have to tell you this statistic. I did Google it. So remember, if you need a quick fact to support your position, then go ahead and use your device and Google it, or open up another tab on your computer and Google it. Okay, so let's wrap up this second body paragraph. Clearly and awareness, that should be awareness. Don't worry, I'm going to edit this all later. Of such situations can make people more mindful of others. Second body paragraph is done, and I really did stick closely to Roman numeral 3, and I got it done quickly. So pause the video, you work on your second body paragraph, try to fill up the space. You can go a little further, but don't, underwrite, and pull in some of those ideas and text references from the different articles and different texts we've explored this unit, and then come back for third body paragraph. Okay, welcome back, 7th graders. It is time to go to the third body paragraph, and you can see it starts here, and it's going to continue over to this page. I'll change the page when we get to it. And once again, I'm going to fold away the part that I already did so we can just focus all of the writing energy on Roman numeral 4, which is body paragraph 3. Okay, so for the third body paragraph, you can see here that I want to talk on this topic of learning about injustices from others who have suffered them can teach historical lessons. I'll discuss the periods of social injustice that they have happened and maybe give one or two examples of that. Then I'll say something about society should not only focus on their positive things, but their problems too. And then I'll finally discuss the past injustices actually led to something good because it led to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So let's see how I develop this. So just focusing right here, you can see I start this body paragraph with a topic sentence. Learning about injustices of the past teaches valuable history lessons. That comes directly from my outline. Again, I'm sticking very close to my outline, which means I'm sticking very close and staying on my thesis. Studying periods of injustice such as slavery in the United States is uncomfortable, but it happens and should be acknowledged. And I have a little note here to myself that I need to Google for a fact, and I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so here is the rest of my third body paragraph. Let's take a look. When societies only focus on their positive events, it suggests that these cruel atrocities didn't matter. It implies these injustices didn't cause any harm. By learning about these situations, humans can heal and society can improve. For example, the idea of human rights grew stronger after the genocide, and I put of Jews in parentheses, that occurred in World War II. Countries came together to affirm the dignity and the worth of the human person. This is a quote from the preamble of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. When I edit, I'll probably go back and cite that source in my paragraph. In 1948, over 50 countries developed the Declaration of Human Rights. These countries learned from history how humans should be treated. And I feel like I do need an ending sentence here. So when I edit, I'm going to go back and put an ending sentence there because I feel like I kind of left that paragraph kind of up in the air, and I really do want to end that a little more definitively. Okay, but for now, it is time for you to start your third body paragraph here, finish it off here, try to write down to the margin mark, and stick close to your outline. Okay, if you need to Google an example or if you need to pull in an example from one of your articles, you should do it. And then come back for your conclusion. Okay, welcome back, 7th graders. We are finishing up. We are coming around home stretch. It is time to take a look at the conclusion. So once again, I'm just going to focus only on the conclusion facts that I want to include, and here they are. Remember, no new information in the conclusion. I want to use a famous quote. Here it is by Dr. King. And I want to pose a challenge to readers to just go ahead and try and speak up against injustice when you see it. And I want to make a positive prediction about the world being a better place if we stand up to injustice. So let's take a quick look at my conclusion. It is a tiny little paragraph and really should be easy to compose. So starting with that famous quote, Dr. King has said, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Now I explain it a tiny bit. This simple statement serves as a motivation to all. Now here comes my challenge. Don't sit silently while others are oppressed. And then here comes my final statement. In the end, Learning from those who experience injustice will raise awareness and stop more suffering. And there you have it. I am pretty much finished my essay. It's done. I've written the amount that I am required to write, which is 3 pages. Of course, I have some editing and proofreading to do. That's fine. I'm going to come in there with my red pen a little bit later and deal with any capitalization, punctuation, transition words. All of that can come later, but for now, you just need to get the essay onto the paper from your outlines. You just want to take your outline ideas, build them up with text references and further comments from yourself so that you have your 1, 2, 3 page essay about facing injustice. So that's all for now. It's time for you to go ahead and finish writing. Bye, 7th graders. Good luck.